Hi, Miss Jones. I'm Allie.
Hi, Sue. Nice to meet you.
Can I call you Sue?
Yeah, please.
Great. Just for administrative, do you mind if I take notes while we're talking? Is that okay?
That's fine.
That's fine? Great. So, as I said, my name's Allie. I'm here with the LGBT clinic at Cornell. I'm sure you've spoken with Professor Hazeldine. And today, we just want to go over your background story, and see if we can help you in any way.
Mm-hmm.
So, to start, can you tell me how I can help you today?
Well, my landlord wants me to pay my rent for where I used to live with my girlfriend, but I don't live there anymore. I don't want to give him the money because I'm not living there.
Okay. Why don't you live there anymore?
My girlfriend assaulted me, and then I moved out.
What's your girlfriend's name?
Her name is Jessie.
Jessie. Okay. And how long have you known Jessie?
A few years.
A few years?
Mm-hmm.
3 years, 5 years? 5 years? Okay. And you said Jessie assaulted you?
Yeah.
And that's why you said you have moved out?
Yes.
Okay. Has Jessie assaulted you more than once?
She did. This happened a few days ago, but she did once push me in 2011.
Okay. So, to make sure that I can help you to the best of the clinic's ability, I would like to delve into what you mean when you say assault in some of those instances in some greater detail, so that we can essentially have a very strong claim for you. And we need, unfortunately, the court system needs concrete examples, concrete instances of your interaction with Jessie in order for us to help you in any way. So you said you've moved out, but I want to back up first. So when was the first time Jessie assaulted you?
It was in July 2011, I think. It was a while ago. And she just shoved me. She was drunk and shoved me into a wall. So that's what happened.
Did she say anything during this instance?
She said that she said a lot of really mean things, and called me a whore, and she thought that I had been, she's very jealous. But after that happened, I had been living with her, I had just been living with her, and then after that happened, I was added to the lease.
After what happened?
After the first assault.
Then you were added to the lease? Okay. So, and I'm sorry to dwell on this, but I really want to, to be in this moment so that we have a complete story as possible. So you hadn't been on the lease yet in July. And this first instance happened in July 2011. And Jessie was drunk, and she shoved you into the wall, and she called you names, including, as you said before, a whore, and because she's jealous. Did she call you anything else?
Yeah, I think she did. She definitely did. She said I was cheating on her, and that I was, crazy, and I was lazy, and I didn't clean, and she had said those things before, but she had never physically pushed me or anything like that before that point. she just said really terrible, mean things. I can't remember exactly what she said. It was a while ago.
Were you injured after this incident?
No. I mean, I had maybe bruises or something.
Bruises. So you didn't seek medical attention?
No.
Okay. And after that, did you leave, or did she just stop?
No, because she was so apologetic and she had me to police, so I thought that, things were going to change.
Okay.
And, she did better for a while after that.
How long had you been living with Jesse before the first assault?
Probably about a year.
And after that first instance, you said that was in July 2011, I'm assuming at night?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. After that first instance, you said things got better for a while and that she added you to the lease.
Mm-hmm.
When did she add you to the lease?
I think shortly thereafter, I can't remember. It must have been that month because my lease now is up in July.
Did Jesse assault you again?
Not
verbally?
until a few days ago.
Not until a few days ago. And was this the only other time she's assaulted you since that first time in July?
It's the only time she's physically hit me.
Okay. Can you tell me about times of verbal harassment, maybe anything like that, financial, control, anything that might go along those lines that Jesse has done to you in the past?
Yeah, well, she was laid off from her job. This is, I think, what happened is that she was laid off from her job in October.
Okay.
And, she had told me things like, you're lazy and you don't clean and things like that before. But when she got laid off, she wasn't making as much money, obviously, and she started a business as she was running out of the apartment. And I had encouraged her to get a job, just to supplement her income in the meantime, but she, was really negative to that and told me not to be involved in any of that, and that's sort of what I started noticing that, recently checks have been bouncing, and that's what led to the assault a few days ago, because our landlord rent check bounced, and I asked her why, and she said it was, none of my business, and that I should stay out of it, and then later that night she pushed me down the stairs.
So I still want to, go very slowly and take this step by step to make sure we get a very clear story. So I'm going to go back, but we'll get to everything. So you said in October of 2011 or 2012 that Jesse got laid off?
2012.
Okay.
I think.
And she got laid off, and, she accused you of being lazy. She was around the house, and you said she started running a business out of your home?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of business?
It's a vitamin supplement. She sells vitamin supplements, type of thing. I don't know that much about it.
Does she work with anyone?
No.
Okay. Do you believe that Jesse's business is legal?
I have no idea.
What do you suspect? Do you
That it is? I mean, I don't know. Suspect that it wouldn't be. She's just a small business.
And it's just vitamin supplements.
Before she was in sales, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now to talk about the most recent assault. You said that was the only other assault other than the first.
Physical assault. Yeah.
Physically. You said it happened a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Can you walk me through what happened?
Sure. Well, the check bounced, like I said, and then I asked her. Actually, no, the landlord called me to tell me that it had bounced. So I asked her later, what happened, is something going on? And she really got mad, and she said, like, why are you calling him? It's none of your business, even though he called me. And she got really angry, and she accused me of spying on her, and she kicked me in the stomach, and she threatened me with a kitchen knife. And then eventually she threw me against a wall, and I ran to a neighbor's house to call 911. Eventually I was able to do that.
Okay. When you say she threatened you with a kitchen knife, could you explain what you mean by that?
Well, she had a kitchen knife. She said she was going to stab me.
Okay. What happened when you went to the neighbors and called the police?
They arrested her. And I haven't, I had my nose bleeding. I didn't want to see her because I knew that she would be really angry at me for having her arrested. But she's been calling me and leaving me messages that
What did she say?
everybody is, that they're going to arrest me because I'm lying, I'm wasting their time, that she's going to come and get me.
Okay. So, do you know what happened when they arrested Jessie? Do you know if there was she prosecuted? Was there any legal action taken against her, or was she just locked up for the night and let go the next day?
She said in her messages that she was let go. I don't know what's happening. She said that they're going to arrest me. I don't know if that's going to happen. And she says that, she's going to come and find me. I don't know. I'm assuming she has her cell phone.
Do you still have those messages saved on your phone?
Yeah.
Okay. Please don't delete them, because we might be able to use those to help your situation. Before I turn to how we can possibly help you, I would like to ask about your landlord. Have you spoken to your landlord about terminating your lease?
Well, he called me and he said I owe him $800.
Okay.
And I told him I don't live there anymore. And he said it didn't matter because my lease runs through, the year. But I don't want to pay the money because I'm not living there.
Did you mention your situation with Jessie to him?
I tried to say that, Jesse didn't want me there anymore, and he said that, I'm not, he said he wasn't interested in our dyke drama.
I'm sorry to hear that. I would like you to think about that conversation that you had with the landlord again. You said that you weren't interested in living with Jesse anymore? Do you remember what the exact words you used were?
No, I don't remember exactly. I told him I wasn't living there, and I told him that Jesse didn't want me living there. I didn't tell him, what had happened.
You didn't tell him?
No,
Right.
I just, this just happened a couple of days ago, so I just don't want to live there, and I don't want to pay the money because I don't think I should have to live there, or at least have to pay that.
I understand. Okay. So, based on what we've discussed so far, I think we might consider helping you get an order of protection. And this can be either done through family court or criminal court. And this would help you because, just to reiterate your goals, and please correct me at any time if I've misstated something or if I'm confused about something. You want to end your lease. You want to distance yourself from Jesse. Is that essentially? Okay. So, usually you can't terminate your lease. However, in your case, given the assaults and other various forms of abuse, you would have a case for being able to terminate your lease. In order to do that, you need to show 4 things, or go through 4 steps, essentially. First, you need an order of protection, and that's the biggie. And you get that from either a criminal court, a family court, or another court. And this order of protection would be against Jessie. It would prevent her from coming near you, contacting, harassing you by leaving threatening voicemails. But you need to get that. We would need to get that order of protection issued. Then secondly, you'd have to show that there's still a substantial risk that if you were to continue living with Jessie, that she would harm you. And I'll obviously do more research on this, but based on her continued threatening phone calls, it does not seem to be a very safe situation for you right now, so I think we'd satisfy that. Thirdly, we'd show that relocation would substantially reduce your risk of harm. Where are you living currently?
With my parents.
Okay. And how close is that to Jessie?
Maybe like 25 minutes.
Okay. Fourth, we need to show that you asked your landlord to terminate the lease, and that he has refused to do so, which has happened. And then finally, unfortunately, you would have to pay any rent that is currently due. So I'm assuming that $800 you mentioned is back rent. That's still due. From when you were living there.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Well, I'm not sure. He didn't say.
Okay. So one thing for next time is for us to continue is to figure out whether that $800 is for a few months back, or whether that's for this coming month.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's one thing. But let's talk about the order of protection, if that's okay. So as I said, you can get that from a criminal court or a family court. To get it from a criminal court, they'd have to arrest Jessie. So that's why I was asking earlier whether any legal action was taken against her when they arrested her during the second assault a few days ago. Considering that hasn't happened, we petition a family court for an order of protection. And in order to do that, we'd have to show that there's a family offense, which, physical, emotional, sexual abuse, financial abuse. And based on what we've discussed, I think you easily qualify. But I'd like to discuss it more with Professor Hazeldine. We'd draft up an affidavit for you to present to the family court judge. And in this affidavit, it would detail these instances of abuse and your encounters with Jesse in great detail. And the family court judge would review the documents, and then if he found them favorable, he would issue a citation, which you'd have to subpoena Jesse. You'd have to give it to Jesse, and we could have the police do that for you, so that we can limit your contact with Jesse. I understand that probably might not want to see her right now. The police can submit that for you, and it would essentially be calling Jesse to court on a set date. If Jesse did not show up that date, the family court judge would go over your affidavit with you, maybe ask you a few questions about some greater detail about those instances, and then issue an order of protection, which would prevent Jesse from contacting you, coming around your place, harassing you, touching you, and that would be for 2 years, and 5 years actually in some instances if we can show some other things, such as use of a weapon, which we could actually go for in this case, since you mentioned that she threatened you with a knife in the last incident. So we actually might be able to look into this 5-year order of protection if that's something you're interested in. But if Jesse does show up to the hearing, she can consent to the order of protection, and if she decides to fight it, then it will kind of go like a trial. The judge will hear both sides and then render a decision. But as I was saying before, you need this order of protection. We need a few things, and then you can terminate your lease. And so you just need the order of protection, and that's something we can definitely help you with. And I think we can demonstrate there's still risk of you being with Jesse, that she might hurt you, and that you're reducing your risk by moving elsewhere, and that you've already shown that you've asked the landlord to terminate your lease, and that he has refused to do so. I'll have to look into more information on when your rent is due, and you'll bring that for me to see what you might have to pay to get out. But I think we have something to go off of here, and I think we might be able to help you.
Can we do this soon?
Can do this very soon. We can, what will probably happen is I'm going to talk to Professor Hazeldine, and we'll schedule one more interview. I'll draft this up, start writing your affidavit, and then we'll probably schedule maybe 1 or 2 more interviews to make sure your affidavit is complete. And this can be done very quickly. I understand that you like this order. I'm assuming you'd like this as quickly as possible, since Jesse is still harassing you. As I said, don't delete those messages on your phone. And we also need witnesses that would be helpful to corroborate the events. So you mentioned that during the second assault, you went to the neighbor's house directly after. Do you know them?
I'm not very well, but yeah, she was there.
And she saw your nose bleeding. Did you ever go to the hospital afterwards, or no?
No.
Okay. But she saw your nose bleeding?
Yep.
Okay. Were you injured in any other way? I heard you said you got kicked in the stomach.
Yeah, I mean, I was just beaten up a little bit. Not something I couldn't recover from.
Right. But it was visible that you had been injured. So we might reach out to her to ask her, to corroborate some of the events of that night, that, you came over, that you were bleeding. Okay. So she's a good source, and maybe your parents, and maybe the landlord. But I think we can definitely help you on some of this.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Okay, so are you clear on what you need to bring next time, and what our next steps are?
Yeah. And
we'll be in touch with you, and I'll send you an email reiterating what you need to bring next time, and how we're going forward.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I thought we went over.